Let me tell you a little bit more about why this deal that's going to be announced by Prime Minister Modi a couple of days from now in Paris is so crucial for the Indian Navy. Now remember, India has already got 5 made-in-India Scorpene submarines currently in naval service. A 6th Scorpene built in India is scheduled to join the Indian Navy somewhere around March next year, so less than a year from now. India plans to build 3 more. That's the deal being announced now by Prime Minister Modi a couple of days from now in Paris, that India wants to order 3 more of these submarines that will be built at the Indian production line in Mumbai. That means the total Scorpene submarine fleet in the Indian Navy goes up to 6 plus 3, that's 9 submarines. It crucially helps to boost the dwindling submarine force levels in the Indian Navy, which has been a long-standing plaint of the service. These 3 new Scorpenes, we are told, will have more advanced weapons and systems. They will also have air-independent propulsion, which gives them much more endurance underwater and keeps them more stealthy. Let's go back to our guests now to analyze and discuss the importance of this submarine contract as well that's going to be announced. Admiral Sinha, how do you see this deal? You know, I remember for a long time, Indian shipbuilding has been blamed for not learning many lessons. There was always a concern that with 6 Scorpene submarines built, okay, we'll go back to Admiral Sinha in just a moment. Admiral Singh, that question is for you. There was always a concern that this submarine production line in Mumbai would lie idle after these 6 submarines were built. It's a good thing and perhaps very, very timely that the Indian government has decided to bite the bullet and go ahead and order 3 more submarines so that this line doesn't go to waste.
Absolutely. It is just in time, as they say in industrial jargon. Thank God that the art of constructing submarines indigenously, even under license from the naval group in France, has just come in time. What had happened, if you remember, in the early 90s, when the HDW contract had to be foreclosed because of a problem,
yes,
insofar as financial dealings was concerned, we nearly lost the art of at least the skilled manpower.
Yes.
Because there was such a long hiatus, and it had such a debilitating effect on our force levels in submarines. For years together, we didn't get anything else. And those were the most modern submarines at that time. By the way, all 4 are still in commission. Yeah. Thanks to Indian capability of maintaining things with jugaad and otherwise. And can you imagine, the first of them, Shishumar, is 37 years old.
Amazing.
Nobody in the world runs submarines of that age. The same is the case, the first Kilo class, the Sindhu. Yeah. Both these submarines, one in Germany, one in Soviet Union, were commissioned in June of '86. So one of the main reasons for commissioning, for asking for minimum 3 more, is this. And the second reason, equally important as you spelt out, is to keep the art of constructing indigenous submarines alive. So before Project 75 India finally comes in, I think it's not too far away, and that will actually involve transfer of technology in its truest sense.
Absolutely. Admiral Sinha, the dwindling force levels of our submarine fleet has been a long-standing problem. Whether it is, like Admiral Singh pointed out, not making use of our production lines, various other political compulsions and issues, abandoning earlier programs, lack of long-term planning, etc. India, at current estimates, has about roughly half the number of submarines that we are supposed to have, as per the sanctioned strength. So in light of all that, this is good news, isn't it, sir? 3 more submarines is the minimum that we can do as far as France is concerned.
Shiv, I'm glad you brought this point out, and as Admiral Anup Singh mentioned, the advantage with these 3 more submarines which the production line is being opened is the fitment of the DRDO built air independent propulsion, AIP. Yeah. Earlier, the French were not very happy to certify the fitment and its usage, but now the French have agreed that they will actually carry out the trial with the AIP fitted, and that will give the sea legs, the longer sea legs to the submarines. And therefore, the shortage that you're talking about, some of it will get sort of nullified by the submarine remaining on task for a little longer. So I think that it's a very good thing to happen. And you mentioned about, it's all about defense, from the time Prime Minister Modi has come to become the Prime Minister, his government, all foreign policy, issues, they're all based around developing the science and technology in India, and also getting the technology from outside in very niche areas where India did not have the capability. For example, the jet engine. For example, now the Rafale. For example, the MQ9, MQ18. So I am saying that the foreign policy of the present government, particularly of Prime Minister Modi, he has built that environment where he makes other countries, to come down to the requirements of our armed forces, make the country strong, make the country Atmanirbhar as they call it, but at the end of it, transfer of technology and a stronger country. So I think that we are moving in that direction. And Admiral Anup Singh mentioned about 75 India. As you know that the two shipyards have been shortlisted, MDL and L&T.
No, it's very interesting. It's very interesting, Admiral Sinha, that you mentioned foreign policy and how things have been, very, very aligned under this government as far as, getting these new crucial technologies that have eluded India so far. Before I come to General Kulkarni, quickly want to go across to Gaurav in Paris because he's at the place where this parade is going to be happening. Gaurav, wonderful pictures behind you, I can see.
Shiv, these indeed are, it's the French Army, the French Navy and the French Air Force personnel who are carrying out their training for the Bastille Day parade, and India today has been given exclusive access to this training that's currently underway. So right behind me, incidentally, are the submariners and the Marines. The one behind them is the crew of the Charles de Gaulle. They will all be a part of the Bastille Day parade, and they say that they are privileged that the Indian Army, the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force, they're a part of this parade. Incidentally, we just spoke to the captain of Charles de Gaulle and certain other ships, and they said that they had carried out joint exercises with the Indian Navy and with the Indian Air Force, and they said unprecedented level of cooperation is taking place. Again, as far as the submarines are concerned, of course, France now operating, especially with Charles de Gaulle, their nuclear submarines, but they are saying Scorpenes are the best that they can think of as far as the Indian Navy is concerned, Shiv. Again, when you look at these personnel who are carrying out these exercises, this training for the Bastille Day parade, they said that they were actually impressed with the kind of training that the Indian armed forces, their drills, their parade, extremely impressive. With me again is a young mariner, and I want to talk to some of them. Shiv, of course, okay, now they're joining the parade, so they were waiting to talk to us about their experience in India. The crew of Charles de Gaulle, they were in India, and they spent considerable time in Goa, not just for the exercise but also for the fun that they had there, Shiv.
Gaurav, we're going to be playing out all those conversations you had with them, so our viewers will miss nothing. Don't worry about getting them live. I know it's difficult. You're standing there while there's a lot of movement around you, while all these soldiers are practicing. We've enjoyed those live pictures, but don't worry about it. The stuff that you've already filed, we're going to be playing out